So my Sheltered Instruction Observation Protocol, my SIOP lesson plan. So my subject area is science, and the topic I will be going over would be matter and energy for the second grade. The objective is to use inquiry that the student will be using inquiry, the student will be able to identify the differences between a solid and liquid by the texture of and the physical properties with 85% accuracy. And here are the teaks. So moving forward, the purpose of this lesson slash activity is the objective is appropriate for these students because it allows them to improve their knowledge and skills as well as building a foundation of learning matter and energy. And this will lead further to understanding of the real life physical properties. And the English language proficiency level is intermediate English language proficiency level. And special helps for English learners and LEP students. I would shorten the song, slow the pace of the song, shorten or simplify the amount of work, explain, and lastly, explain instruction one-to-one. And here are the materials that will be needed. Objects found in the classroom, rock, wood, and keys as example of solid, water, coffee, milk as examples of liquid, 5 containers, YouTube, and the smartboard. So here are my teaching resources and the teaching strategies. So teaching strategies that I will use would be to speak slowly and increase wait time, cultivate relationships and be culturally responsive. Manipulative strategies is RELIA for experiment, leveled questions, adjust questionings strategies to the language levels of students. And the pre-assessment. The prior knowledge. So beginning with the YouTube video, I will use this to introduce the lesson and get the students engaged. We will sing the song with motions while singing the song and doing the motions with the students, while the students observe for student engagement and understanding. So here's the procedure to do so. The teacher will instruct the students to stand up and get where they can see clearly. The students will sing the song along with the teacher and do the motions as the teacher demonstrates. The teacher begins to sing. Here the teacher begins to do the waterfall motion with hands as she is singing and demonstrating to the students. Okay, now grouping, I will use whole grouping, small group, and pairs. So the teaching procedure. After singing the songs with emotions, I will tell the students to take a seat. Before going each state of matter thoroughly, I will ask the students to create a tree map with the solid, liquid, and gas. They will list 3 things of each matter that they see or use in everyday life. This transition activity will help the students to calm down while at the same time allowing them to process the information to make the connections to everyday life objects. Okay, now going into instruction, beginning with solids, I will explain what a solid is, define its physical properties, and give examples. Provide the visual examples of rock, wood, and keys. Pass these around the classroom so the students can touch them. I will do the same when teaching about liquids, explain what liquid is, define the physical properties, and provide examples. The visual examples would be water, coffee, and milk. I will demonstrate how liquid flows and takes the form of a different container that it is placed in. I will welcome the students to touch the liquid if they would like to. Lastly, I will explain what gas is, define its physical properties, and give examples. I will allow time for students to ask questions. After discussing the 3 states of matter, I will transition onto a smartboard activity. Each student will pair up to their shoulder buddy and work together and answer the questions. Following the Smartboard activity, each pair of students is to find one solid object in the classroom. Once the students find a solid object, we will go through each pair of students and ask them what makes that object a solid and not a liquid or a gas, before transitioning to the closing activity. Lastly, for the post-assessment, for the ending activity, I will allow time for a quick Kahoot game. Each student will get on their Chromebook and log on to Kahoot for the post-assessment. The Kahoot will consist of choosing what picture is right for the definition or word that shows up as a question and vice versa. This should be no longer than 5 minutes, including the discussion to clarify why the answer was incorrect or correct. So the summary, review, and summarize teaching. For language learner students, during this lesson, I would speak slower, increase response wait time, shorten the song if needed, and use Relia for experiments. The students will be able to find the connection between the lesson and the things that can be found at home for a better understanding regarding the states of matter. Thank you.